where you can get hands-on experience in the medical field through classes that you take and through research opportunities as well as internships.
Bodies is an anatomy program which kind of prepares you and gives you an open look into the medical field, and it teaches you and prepares you to what your classes you're going to take in the future and what you're going to see if you're pursuing that career.
I chose bodies because I've been pursuing a career in the medical field for as long as I can remember, and I'm really passionate about the sciences and health science fields.
I didn't really know much about any of the learning centers before. I kind of heard about just engineering and anatomy, and my sister took bodies, and so she said it was really awesome and fun, so I said, why not? I want to try it.
Bodies was divided up 2 years ago into 2 sections. One section is called Allied Health, where students that are interested in going into nursing or medical technical activities, they can do that program. And then there's the pre-med research program.
Bodies greatly influenced my senior year. I knew that after Bodies I was definitely sure that I wanted to go in the medical field, so I was able to take classes that I knew I could build off the knowledge from Bodies and then implement them into my senior year. I've been more successful in my anatomy class at Ohio State because of the experience I had in Bodies, and I'm also excited to start other research opportunities because of the experience that I got through mine while a student in Bodies.
My mindset changed after Bodies, and I went from being a health field into going into business, so now I take entrepreneurship, and I've been taking Russian for a language credit, and I also take calculus because it helps with my major.
I think the biggest thing they struggle with is not understanding that a college biology course is a lot different than a high school biology course, and understanding how to answer the questions that they give on midterms. They get 2 midterms and a final and a lab grade, and those are the only things they're graded on. Whereas at Metro or some of their other schools, they're allowed to go back and retake or redo an activity if they didn't do well. And in college, it's you get what you get, and I think that's probably the hardest thing for students to understand.
When I was a Bodies student, I had generally a few hours of homework each night for my classes through Bodies, as well as the classes I was also taking at OSU outside of Bodies. So a pretty rigorous course load, but it's definitely manageable.
The OSU class is harder. You have to think that if you have 300 students in a lecture class, the professor can't individualize the program. So the information that they get is either from the lab, the PowerPoint, or the book, and they pretty much have to be able to get that information for themselves. Then they are tested on that information, and a lot of times the questions that they ask aren't just regurgitating knowledge, but they have to actually apply the information that they learned to the questions, and learning how to answer those types of questions sometimes is difficult.
My capstone research was at the James Comprehensive Cancer Center at Ohio State. I worked with Dr. James Blatchley, and he was working on a project where we were single-cell cloning leukemia and lymphoma cell lines so that we could use those cells in a homogeneous environment in order for them to be used for gene therapy for treatment of cancer patients.
I think their favorite activity is going to the coroner's office for the autopsy. The second favorite one is there's a clinical skills lab on campus, and that's where the physicians and the nurses go to learn how to do almost anything. So they have a mock operating room set up, and the students get to practice being an anesthesiologist, practice being the doctor. The people there are actually robots, and the robots talk to them, and they go through a simulation of what it would be like to be a doctor or a nurse in an operating room and go through the whole surgery and procedure.
In Bodies, we worked on the mannequin projects through our anatomy class, so we built a human model out of clay, and so we were able to learn all of the systems of the body, including the muscular system, the skeletal system, the cardiovascular system, all of that of them.
My favorite thing and the biggest surprise I have every year is how students mature throughout the year. In the beginning of the year, they're a little timid, not really understanding what the process is of the early college centers, and once they understand how to get to and from campus and their classes and understand their schedule, they become pretty self-sufficient.
I would advise students to consider all of the options. Don't take a learning center because your friends are doing it, but actually take it because you're interested in the content. You're going to be learning just about that information for an entire year. So make sure that you're willing to study and you're willing to put in the work because you're passionate about the subject, not because it's the easiest one or because it's what everybody else is doing.
If you're interested in pursuing a career field, even if you're not, if you feel like this is a learning center that you're actually interested in, go for it because you learn a lot that you can use outside, because anatomy, everyone needs to know it because everyone has a body. So you learn about anatomy, you learn about how the body works too. And you also get to do awesome research that you don't really get to do at a normal high school. Like everyone can take anatomy, but not everyone gets an awesome internship experience with Ohio State and nationwide, and people just get amazing experiences from that.
I don't think that I would change anything about the Bodies Learning Center. I had a really good experience, and I couldn't imagine it a different way.